what I thought was interesting is that I read that the film was originally targeted for a streaming release, got such good test screenings that they moved it to theatrical. What did that, support from the studio really mean to you when they bumped it up and made it a big release?
Yeah, I mean, even from the beginning, the opportunity to have made this film with Paramount was like absolutely a dream come true. I was very excited that they got behind the film, and as a first time filmmaker, provided me with the resources to realize it. When that decision was made to take the film to a wide theatrical release, that was like a real like pinch me moment. It was beyond exciting, and I really I gotta tip my hat to Paramount for getting behind it in such a big way and putting together an amazing marketing campaign. And I think I want to make movies that are designed to be seen big and loud and in a communal experience. That was the intention with making Smile, and so glad that people got to see it that way.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the marketing. I thought it was really inventive. I love that they had the people like in the NBA playoffs, like in the crowd, smiling so creepy. How cool was it kind of seeing all the different ideas that they came up with it? And it all like roots into that very basic thing that, a smile can be so creepy.
Yeah, I mean, it was really fun. We were having a lot of meetings, and what I love about Paramount marketing is how like good they are at thinking outside of the box. Like they wanted to do something that would feel unique, and they wanted to do sort of like a something that felt really kind of guerrilla in nature. And the idea of sending smilers to sporting events came up, but they always said like, we don't want to put our thumbs on the scale, we don't want to like make it feel forced, we just want to see if we can like organically get people to notice. And I remember when that started to take off, and started getting reposted everywhere and shared very widely, it was so cool, because it was like, people got to like put sort of like connect the dots and figure it out. And so many people that I think like had no idea the movie existed, suddenly, because they were watching a baseball game, were confronted with it. And yeah, it was a very fun thing to get to be part of.
Yeah, and I want to obviously talk about the film itself. I really, when you watch a film nowadays, it's there's almost always a very safe, happy ending. You don't go that route. It's not a cheerful ending. What went into the decision to, not end the curse and the kind of, have a bit of a downer there. I'm sure it shocked a lot of the audience.
Yeah, I mean, I think I there's I think it would have been like, I'm not a big fan of endings that are like tied up neatly with a bow. I think sometimes it can be like too easy, or maybe not ring as true as the rest of the film. And from an early point, I knew I was interested in sort of following this story to its worst logical conclusion. But I also wanted to make sure that there was an emotional catharsis that we had before that. Like, I guess I kind of wanted to have my cake and eat it too. But to see if we could give Rose this sort of conclusion to the journey that we've been with her on, this really personal journey, would hopefully feel satisfying. But at the same time, I think that like sometimes there's just evil in the universe, and you can't always stop an inevitable force of nature. And I to me, there felt like there was something just sort of like really, really evil about doing that. And yeah, I don't know, it was always part of the story.
I love that. And the film was such a success. And one good thing you did was like some really smart world building. Obviously, like you could do a sequel that, takes place at the end of the film, but you also talk about, oh, there's these other chains happening, in different countries. There's so many awesome points where like you could launch off into spin-offs. how important was it, was that in mind when you were creating that world building, or is it just like a happy accident now that it's so successful that there are so many launching off points?
Yeah, I mean, like never in a million years did I think that that people were going to be asking me for another one of these movies, which is amazing. There were, I think there's a lot of exciting stuff that could be done in the world of Smile. There's a lot of corners that I purposely left like unexplored, and things that I wish I could have done in the first one, but there just wasn't like room to do. And that would be really exciting. But what I think is really important about Smile is the character story at the center of it, and how the emotionality and the themes of the character are so tied in to what's happening. And that's really important. I think that if there was ever a consideration for more Smile, that would be part of what it's doing, and that it would feel maybe unexpected from what we experienced in the first movie, that another film might do something that feels totally different yet is uniquely Smile at the same time.
Yeah, one thing I really loved about the movie was kind of, the uncertainty throughout. I never really knew what was going to happen. And, with the mental imagery, you're able to like lay down the set work for these paths that are teased, but it doesn't go down. So how fun was like just working within the expectations of viewers and being able to take them on such a wild ride?
Yeah, I mean, I really love crafting things that have a real like, you know, audience participatory element to them. That for me is really fun if I can get people sort of like cringing or squirming in their seats, or like laughing nervously because they're really uncomfortable, or then at moments like jumping out of their seats, in surprising ways. Like I love sort of like guiding an audience down a path and then like pulling the rug out from underneath them, is one of my favorite things to do. But it also felt very much like it was sort of tied to the motifs of the film, that what is happening to Rose in the film, what the supernatural elements are doing to her, the movie is doing the same thing to the audience, and it's creating the same experience for the audience that the character is feeling. I really love that element of the film.
Yeah, you spoke about like just getting joy out of watching those reactions. Were you able to like, go to some theaters and watch like regular moviegoers just experience it and go on the ride?
Yeah, I went to a couple of screenings opening weekend, which were really fun because they were sold out screenings, and I just sort of went anonymously and watched with the audience. And yeah, I mean, it's the whole reason to do any of this is for audiences, and hearing them connect with and embrace the film the way that it seems to when you're in the theater with them, is amazing. It's what you like. Making a movie is so much hard work, and that's what makes it all worth it.
And then my last question for you, there's some really inventive and fun like death scenes in this film. How was it, like deciding how much gore is too much? Because there were a few times I was looking away from the screen. It's pretty nasty, but it's still fun the entire time.
Yeah, I love like well used gore, like when it's used to sort of like hopefully precision effect, and knowing like when to use restraint and when to go all in on something, I think is like an important line to walk. But I mean, there's a lot of different filmmaking elements coming together around the gore or the violence, that I think are hopefully elevating the experience of it, like how we're using the camera, the performances, the sound design, and the score. And so, like bringing all stuff together while also sort of pairing practical effects with VFX, you can create this like really unsettling experience. And I was just really happy that we got to pull some of those off.